what you are seeing is the end result we're gonna get by the end of this tutorial. Head over to my Patreon page to get more tutorial like this. For the $5 you will get access to all of the tutorials and project files. Hello folks and welcome to the Ocean Games. So in this video tutorial we are going to develop AR features with Unreal Engine. So in this first video tutorial we are going to create a simple app that will track a geometry. So let's get started. So I'm going to develop with the Unreal Engine 4.27. So let's explore. Okay, we will choose games, click next, choose blank template and click next. We will choose blueprint and scalable 3D and 2D and mobile and tablet content with no starter content. So name it whatever you like. I will name this project AR tutorial and click on create project. It will create a project and set everything up. So let's wait for it. Okay, my project is loaded and ready. So let's get started. So first thing we need to do is enable the AR plugins. So go to edit, plugins, go to augmented reality section and enable AR utilities and Google AR Core and Google AR Core services. You need to enable these three plugins that are AR utilities, Google AR Core and Google AR services. Now restart the editor so that our plugins can be enabled properly. Now it's loaded and our project is ready for AR development. So first thing we're gonna do is create an empty map. So go to file and new map, select empty level and save it. You can name it whatever you like. I'm going to create a new folder called maps and I'm going to name it map underscore default and save it in the maps folder. Okay, so the basic map is set up. So let's add a player start, position it in 0, 0, 0. It's optional if you want to do it. Add directional light so that we can see what's going on in the scene and skylight. I think it's enough for now. So I have added three things: player start, directional light and skylight. So only thing required is the directional light, but it's good to have player start and skylight. So now the next step is to create a basic blueprints. So let me create a folder first, name it blueprints. Okay, so I will divide it into subfolders so that it's easy to maintain. So first thing is AR. We need some gameplay framework. And okay, it's going to work for now. So now let's start AR development. So first thing we need for any AR app or game, whatever you are creating, is AR session. So what is AR session? AR session is kind of like a default settings for any AR app or game. Okay, so I'm going to say app for now on. I am assuming that we are creating an AR app or okay, let's go with the AR game. So we are going developing AR game. So even if you are developing an AR app, just go with the game. So any AR game needs initialization for the AR, like getting an camera and setting an Android camera for like getting an input and things like that. So what Unreal Engine have done is that create an default class that is AR session config, that user don't have to create everything manually. So when you initialize AR session config will initialize everything for you. So you just need to adjust however you like. Okay, so this is a basic introduction of what AR session config is. If you have any question, write down in the comment. I will definitely answer them. So let's create an AR session config. So it is located at okay, so first right click and you will get these options. So it's located in the miscellaneous and in the data assets you will find this option called AR session config. Select it and click on select. Name it whatever you like. I will start with the D for data, AR session config. Okay, so for now we don't need to change anything here. We're gonna just leave it default and close it down. So now let's go to the framework and create a new folder called AR debugger. Okay, so sorry about that. So my video recorder has stopped working. So let's start with them. So what we have done so far is create an AR session config and go to gameplay framework, add a new folder called AR debugger. So we are going to save our debugger classes here so that we can have multiple tutorials for like AR image tracking and object placing and everything in separate folder in a gameplay framework. So if you want more updates, so please subscribe and like my channel. So now first of all let's create the game mode. So I will name it bp underscore debugger game mode, or just bp underscore gm underscore debugger. Okay, now the second class we need is a pawn class. So create a new pawn class. I am going to name it bp underscore player underscore debugger. Okay, now save it all and set your pawn class as a default class for the new debugger class and set your debugger class as a default game mode class. So I'm going to set my debugger pawn as a default pawn for the debugger game mode, and then set my debugger game mode as a default game mode for this level. Okay, it's pretty simple. If you confused, it's just that game mode has a player and game mode is set to level. Okay, so the basic setup is complete. So go to the player class or pawn class in our case. So add a new component called camera because player needs to see through, so we need a component called camera. Okay, now from begin play create a new node called start AR session. So this one is located in the AR argumented section and sessions and start AR session. Okay, you can select from this drop down list. So it's we only have one session config, so it will show it here. So it's going to start AR session for us. Okay, now one thing I like to do is disable the screensaver for the mobile. So if you don't know what screensaver is, like if you are using an Android phone, after some time your screen will be turned off to save batteries and things. So some apps, for example like video playing apps and these apps can cancel the screensaver so that player has a smooth experience like without turning the screen off. Like imagine if you are watching a movie and you have to turn on the screen like every 2 minutes. It's going to be annoying, right? So Unreal Engine provides handy node called screensaver. Okay, so it's called control screensaver. So if you will turn on this allow screensaver, it will allow the screensaver for the mobile device. So you have to turn it off so that it will stop the screensaver. Okay, so now let's drag another node from pick node called debug AR geometries. Okay, so type so it's called debug draw tracked geometry. Okay, so before that we need all geometries. So type get all tracked geometries. Got okay, so not this one. So we need this node called get all AR geometries. Okay, now from the return value you can use for each loop. Plug it with the get all AR geometries class, and from for each loop draw debug track the geometry. Okay, and pin the AR element to track the geometry. Now you can change these settings, but for me default is right for the now, so I am not going to change the settings, but you can change these settings. It's pretty straightforward. So with the color node you can change its color, you can change the outline thickness, and persistence for the second is like how long it's going to be last. So we are going draw every tick, so it's going to be like 30 draw per second, so 0 persistence per second is going to be alright for us because we don't want to last it longer than that. Okay, so I think everything is ready. So now all you need to do is just launch it. If your device is plugged into your computer, you will get an option here as your device. You can launch it directly, or you can create an exe executable from files, package, project, and Android. Okay, but before you can package, you can do some basic Android settings. For that, go to edit and project settings. Okay, go to platforms and Android, configure for the Android settings. Okay, now you can change icon by placing your icon images here, and your splash screen by changing images here. And there is one setting I like to do is package game inside APK. So it wouldn't create an OBB file, it will just create a single APK file, and that is what I want for now. If I want OBB file, I just have to untick this and it will create .apk file and .obb file. Okay, and one thing I need to do is like sensory landscape. So it's going to be, I want it to be censored so that even if my phone is in horizontal or vertical position, I still get an adjust my app or game according to the screen orientation. So there are few options here: portrait and reverse portrait. Portrait is like a vertical orientation, and landscape is a landscape. Okay, so full sensor will be like orientation on any direction, and other options are straightforward. So I will choose sensor so that my orientation can be set correctly even if my phone is on horizontal or vertical orientation. Okay, now I think I will leave everything default as it is. And oh yeah, one more thing, that you need to set up your SDK and NDK settings in the Android SDK settings. If you don't know how to set up this, comment below and I will make a tutorial on that too. Okay, so I think we are ready to package our first AR app. So go to File, Package, and Android, and I will choose Android Multi so that my app can run on all devices. So I will name it Edit so that my folder will be on top of the folders hierarchy. Okay, so edit and select this folder. Now it's going to take a while to package and cook and everything, so have some patience. It's going to take a while for first time only. Once you have packaged your application, second time it wouldn't take that much time, as long as like you have not added some crazy assets. Okay, so now let's wait for it, and I will test it on the mobile and show you how it looks. So okay, so we forgot to set up a few things like maps and things. So go to the file, go to the edit, project setting, go to maps and more, and set map to default as both startup map and game default map. Okay, and you can set our default debugger game mode as a default game mode. Go to the input section and remove this default virtual joystick. Okay, clear. And now let's build it again and see. If you like this video, like and share this video, subscribe Ocean Games. It will motivate me to create more tutorial like this. Have a great day.